Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Daf Yomi Moaid Katan Amid Bet Halachot Aninut. The Gemara describes Halacha of Misha Mesa Motelefanav, one who lost his relative, one of his 7 relatives, and did not yet bury the relative. So the person is known as an Onain. And during that time he does not perform mitzvot, asay positive mitzvot. Is it that he is pator or asor in the performance of mitzvot? Rashi maintains he is pator, osik mitzvah, Patman a mitzvah, while Tosus and others maintain a sword is considered to be a bizayon to the mate, a degradation to the mate to be involved in the mitzvah. His whole focus should be only on the mate and the burial process. Shahar brings down both shitot in several places, in Halachot Kriyat Shema and in Halachot Aninut, and we paskin that he is actually a sor, and therefore during the Aninut period he does not do any mitzvot asay. There are certain interesting points that come out here. On Shabbat, he's not involved in the burial process, so he's not an Onain. He's chayav in all the mitzvot. He does make kiddush, he does make brachot, he makes a bracha on the tzitzit, and puts on the tzitzit. Is it pashut that he cannot be an Onain on Shabbat? Not at all. He certainly can be an Onain on Shabbat. Let's say an hour left to Shabbat, and he walks towards the border of the town, so he could be involved in the burial right after Shabbat. So that's already considered to be osek in the mitzvah of the burial, in the preparation of the burial. And from the moment he starts walking, he is in Onain on Shabbat even, and he would not make brachot at that point. Another interesting case would be washing hands, atilas yadayim. Is that an asay or lo tasay midrabanan? So the fact is, Pitchai brings down shitas both ways and says, yeah, it seems to be that it's because of tum'ah, he is not allowed to eat bread without washing his hands. So maybe that's an isor, and therefore he has to do it even as an onain, to wash, but without a bracha, because the bracha obviously is an asay drabanan. Another interesting exception is a person has a full meal right before the burial, and then he goes out. Not a very common case, but let's say the burial is right near his home. He goes, has a full meal at 12 o'clock, burials at 12:30, comes back 1 o'clock. Okay, and he's still filled up. There's this man of Sviya still. So theoretically, he would make the bracha according to Pitchai. Apparently, even though the Maaseh Achila was not at a time that would mechayiv him in a bracha, the state of Sviya he has. And that state of Sviya exists even after the burial, where he's now chayiv in all the mitzvot. So this Sviya is mechayiv him in a bracha. Another interesting case is Asher Yatzar. If he goes to the bathroom during Aninut, he does not make a bracha. She has a Pitchai paskins. He would make the bracha after burial. One last case we'll mention is Havdala. What's halacha with Havdala? So Saturday night, he's involved in the burial process. He does not make Havdala. So the halacha is he's not allowed to eat until he makes Havdala normally. Motzi Shabbos, till when you get home from shul, you cannot eat till you make Havdala. So what about here? What happens if the burial is not going to be till Sunday afternoon? He cannot eat the whole time until he makes Havdala. The halacha is, of course, he can eat Motzi Shabbat right away through Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, till the burial. He can eat even though he didn't make Havdala. Why? So the answer is obvious. There's not an isser per se to eat before Havdala. This is to eat before one fulfills his chiyuv Havdala. Obviously, over here, he did not fulfill his chiyuv Havdala. He doesn't have a chiyuv Havdala. So once he has no chiyuv Havdala, there's no problem of eating food before Havdala, because it's before the chiyuv Havdala, not simply before Havdala. Just an overview of some of the Halachot of Aninut. Yes, Hashem should be just le lamdus and not lemaisa. Shalom.